All right, let's see if anybody's watching today. It might just be us all by ourselves.
Well, they can watch the replay. Our mics are hot, by the way.
Yeah.
Got a minute till showtime. The AT&T ransomware attack won't stop.
You are
the show.
spreading rumors.
I'm telling you, I've worked in IT for how long already? For a long time.
Yeah.
This is what it is. If it was something that was wrong with the network, they have contingency plans that would have kicked back in. They took down a major hub. They went in there and shut something down, and they're demanding to get paid, and AT&T is scrambling to gather the money so they can probably pay the hackers and restore service. But when you do attacks like that and you pay them off, service will restore, but it'll come back real slow.
We got somebody on there, Chris
What
Gonzalez.
up? It's game day. Spurs back in action. Welcome to the Church of the Alamo City Sportscast.
Is this thing on? Can people hear me? Can people see me? There's an outage going on in San Antonio, in Texas, and all over the United States. It's like the Snowpocalypse, but it's the Cellpocalypse.
AT&T.
AT&T is under the weather, if you will, because there are outages all over the country, and it is getting worse by the hour, according to NBC News. I knew that something was up this morning because my ex-wife called me this morning, and instead of it being like her name popping up on my cell phone, it said audio messenger from Facebook, right? I'm like, what the hell? Why are you calling me on audio messenger? And she says, because there's a power outage or an outage of AT&T. But it's beyond AT&T. According to NBC News, there were 32,000 outages reported by AT&T at 3 a.m. And then it jumped to 50,000 outages by 7 a.m. and 72,000 by 10 a.m. That means things are getting worse, not better when it comes to this outage. It's also affecting Cricket Wireless, for those of you who have Cricket. And also some people who have Verizon and T-Mobile are now being affected by the outage. No. And I asked this question on Twitter earlier today because when the grid went down and there was no electricity, I was one of the few who had electricity. So I didn't really suffer like everyone else did. Okay, I stayed indoors and I was just watching TV while everybody else was freezing and unable to cook. You know, I was there steam cleaning my carpets, literally was doing that. But this is affecting me. I can't work today. I can't do anything. It is costing me money. It's costing other people money.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about things like, what happens if people have to call 911?
It still works.
It still does?
It's on SOS mode. So we got Swiss in the chat here. Hey, what's up, Swiss? And what's up, Chris Gonzalez? Swiss, I like this comment. Or was it Chris?
Did Mike have something to do with it?
With Johnny. And then look at Swiss. The outage found out Mike was going wild about SA yesterday. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, so we'll get into that conversation again because that took off on its own yesterday. Or should I say it's because of Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. He threw gasoline on the fire, but I was happy to see so many people come to my defense when it comes to it all and actually agree with me. So we'll get into that.
Good morning to Van Steen.
That's right. Rodeo Road Trip continues tonight. Spurs back in action. We'll talk about the Spurs. The punishment have come down for the UIW basketball players who were involved in that brawl.
The whole team.
I know the whole team was involved in that brawl.
God.
Over on ESPN Plus, but it was against Texas A&M Commerce here in San Antonio. Was the suspension too harsh? Was it too light? We'll get into that. We'll get into some.
Did they get the second wave?
Exactly. People think it ended, but witnesses have said that it continued after ESPN went off the air.
Did they hand out punishment to the fans that came in?
We'll also talk a little bit about college basketball as well, as we're starting to enter into March. You know what March means. It means March
March
Madness. So we have
Madness.
to get into that as well. But again, everyone woke up this morning, at least if you have AT&T.
Did I pay my bill?
I know. That's exactly what I thought. You know what the sad thing is that it just shows how dependent we are on our cell phones, because I called you about 45 minutes ago and asked you the question, or actually I messaged you.
Yeah.
Are we going to have a show?
Facebook Messenger. You
Facebook
could
Messenger.
text me.
Are we going to have a show? And
Oh,
you're like,
God.
well, why not? People are going to be able to do it. I'm like, well, if you have no Wi-Fi, can you actually watch the show? But we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't have cell service, you can still watch the phone. I mean, to watch through the phone, because you're going to be connected via Wi-Fi. I mean, AT&T hasn't taken out the internet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we still got internet.
Do you know what the funny thing about the whole thing was that I actually went to my office today, and I had got my keys to my new office over there by North Star Mall. And as I was driving over there, nothing was turning on, right? But I could get on Spotify, and Spotify was spitting the same 6 songs over and over again, because it's whatever it had listed on the shuffle.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
So it was Outkast, I Like the Way You Move. It was Jay-Z and Linkin Park doing the Encore Numb song, you know, their mashup. What else was it? It was an STP song. It was an Incubus song, and yes, Taylor Swift. You should, you need to calm down. Was also in the mix. And Treasure by Bruno Mars. It was those 6 songs on repeat.
What was your favorite STP song? The one you said it's dad rock. Oh, so much depends on the weather.
And I feel so much depends on our cell phones. So I wonder, those who have other cell phones that are working right now, like what other, I mean, if it's affecting AT&T is the big baller when it comes to cell phones, right? I'm sure they have the lion's share of the industry. T-Mobile's probably number 3, whatever the case may be. But to think that this is getting worse. Now, you have a personal opinion as to what you think is going down.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I know what's going down. I've worked in the IT industry for many, many years. I mean, you're talking like since I was in high school.
Yeah.
This has all the makings of what's called a ransomware attack. So what happens is that hackers will infiltrate the network and they'll take it down. And they usually take down major hubs. That way there's going to be a widespread outage. Mm-hmm. They want to get paid in order to go ahead and give you the code to bring everything back on. Or the script, should I say, to bring things back on. But with ransomware attacks, since they go ahead and attack the main hub or the network, once you pay them, it takes a long time for the network to come back up. And it's just never quite the same before the attack. So AT&T is going to have to take it twice. Once to pay the ransomware attackers, the hackers, should I say, and then they're going to have to go ahead and fix their network. Guess who's going to wind up paying for this?
Who do you think? We are.
Exactly.
It's like the grid, you know?
Yeah.
So what I think happened, remember the movie Airplane, where it's that one guy as a plane's coming in for the crash landing, and that one guy pulls the plug out and is like, and the lights go out of all the airport landing gear and all that stuff. That's me. That's what I think happened. Someone just bumped into something. Maybe it wasn't an attack of some sort.
A fucking squirrel bit of wire.
Yeah. Chris Gonzalez reaches out and says someone at AT&T hit up the up, down, left, right, left, right. B-A, so A-B, select. Wait, it's up, down, left, right,
A-B, select, and start.
Yes, select, start. That got you 30 minutes on Contra back on the day. And how I know that 007-373-5963 gets you to Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I'll never forget.
Never forget it. But you know what? AT&T is going to have to do something extra nice for everybody. You know?
They're not going to do shit.
I mean, what are they going to do? Give you a bill credit of $15? You know what? You all need to send Lily around the nation, man, so she can hand out the reimbursement
AT&T Lily, dude. She back in the day was a 2 seed.
Lily's still, I don't know what you're talking about. You even shut your mouth.
Well, she just had a kid, so she doesn't
give a damn.
She's not in her fighting weight anymore, though. But I was thinking about the 4th number 1 seed, because we talked about Sydney Sweeney, we talked about Paige Sporonic, other people that we're talking about for the 1 seed, Ana de Armas. Is Dua Lipa the 4th 1 seed? Could be. Just throwing it out there. Let us know who you think should be the top seeds of our March Madness countdown, which will get going the first week of March. Again, craziness going on in the world right now when it comes to this, as far as the AT&T outage. I don't know. I kind of, you've convinced me a little bit that it might actually be some sort of ransom.
It is a
type of
ransomware
thing.
attack. They're not going to come out right and say it, but you know when they're going to finally announce what happened? Probably months from now. Because they're in damage control right now. They're trying to fix everything. They're trying to keep everything hush-hush. They got their PR people spinning a narrative right now. What they're telling everybody that's working for AT&T, they probably have automated messages in the call centers and everything because they know they're going to get inundated with calls.
If you can.
Well, they're going to be calling from the Verizon phones or your
Yeah.
T-Mobile phones. You know, what the F's going on here? Or going to the actual AT&T stores. I feel sorry for AT&T employees today, man.
Right.
They need some help, man. Give them the day off.
Now,
dude.
according to NBC News, they just updated their bullet points on all this. They said that 75% of AT&T's network has been restored, according to the company, and that AT&T is finally making progress in restoring service to tens of thousands of customers.
And they got the money
who
to
were
pay the
affected.
hackers. Okay.
The federal government is coming out saying the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said it's in touch with AT&T, but did not say if there's any indication of a cyber attack. Quote, CISA is aware of the reports and we are closely working with AT&T to understand the cause of the outage and its impacts, and we are ready to offer any assistance needed, said Eric Goldstein, the agent's executive director for cybersecurity.
You ever seen the History Channel? And they have that guy that comes out with the crazy hair and he says aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
Yeah. The same guy with the crazy hair, hackers. You know?
David Otwater reaching out to us on our YouTube stream saying they're saying it could be a solar flare. We've heard that before. That solar flares can disrupt what goes on with telecommunications.
They're going to go ahead and affect it because of the way that they have the satellite situated, right? So the communications network, right?
Right.
If it's not terrestrial, if it's above in outer space, you know, you have to have satellites and coordinating with one another to go ahead and have the transmissions broadcast all over the world and whatnot. So if a solar flare affects that, yes, it can go ahead and disrupt the transmission of said data or signals, whatever, but not to this effect. I mean, it would maybe create some type of interference, but not to this degree.
Now, AT&T stock is down for the day.
Oh, you don't say.
You don't say. You don't say, but the stock market is up for the day. Russell 2000, S&P 500, NASDAQ. So I was interested to see how that would all work, but goodness, this is a bad day for AT&T customers. And I'm looking at my phone right now.
It's still off.
It still says SOS off.
Shit out of luck. It should say SOL. SOL. Shit out of luck.
So sad.
You know what? If the hackers really wanted to do something stupid, they should have put like a little GIF or something at the time of the attack and just put sucker.
Jacob Eric reaches out and says, "Darn Russians."
Hey, who knows?
It's the Nigerians, but man, they're the ones that do it, right?
Well, actually, Iran has one of the best cyber hacking group in the world when it comes to, like, you know, cyber threats and all that. Iran, Russia, and their other neighboring nations, you know, China. These guys all work together, and it's like a big network of hackers there, especially with Iran after what the U.S. did to them. Oh, man, they stocked up after that.
Well, it's because Iran is more educated than San Antonio.
Oh, God, dude. No,
that's
Mike.
a joke.
I'm going to be like, Mike, stop, bro. Stop.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Last night, people coming to my defense about what I said, okay, about the city of San Antonio. The conversation it's so funny because I saw this take off like wildfire a little bit in Spurs Twitter land, right? Jeff Garcia retweeted it and also was commenting on what I said.
He's going to bake you, bro, because of the money bags thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, he has to. But what I found funny about it is that I went back in time and I listened to our segment. And I thought to myself, you know, because when we're doing the show, it's an hour 15, hour 30-minute of free-flowing conversation. There's nothing that we really plan. You and I get together for 5 minutes and say, hey, let's talk about these topics, and then we just run with it, right?
Yeah, they think we have like show prep.
Yeah. and they think that like, oh, Michael has been planning this hot take for the longest time. No, we're just talking, right? The thing about it is that I went back yesterday to watch yesterday's show. We started talking about this around the 36-minute mark, okay, about Major League Baseball looking for an expansion city. And ESPN had an article saying, here are the 10 most likely candidates to get a team. And listed at number 1 was Austin/San Antonio. It didn't say Austin. It didn't say San Antonio. It said both, as though we're already a metroplex. And the idea is that Major League Baseball wants this to happen by 2029. So you and I were having a conversation about where to put the stadium. Do you put it in San Antonio? Do you put it in Austin? Do you put it somewhere in the middle? Retama Park, Circuit of Americas? We had this whole conversation about this. I thought you and I had touched on this for like 3 minutes. I thought if you had asked me after the show, 5 or 6 minutes, we had like a 16-minute conversation about this. And I went back and I looked at it and I watched it again. It was a very cerebral conversation.
Yeah.
We weren't throwing shit up against the wall. We had a very legit conversation.
I don't even know how we got into it.
Well, we got into it because you were talking about the stadium.
Yeah.
And where to put the stadium if it's in San Antonio. And we were kind of getting to the point of it's difficult to get that support. And we were talking about getting the support of companies.
Big corporations.
Yeah. San Antonio is experiencing a reverse brain drain. And a brain drain is basically when another city or another country takes your talent. The United States siphons off talent from India, siphons off talent from Europe, right? From China and other places. We get a lot of their minds to come to the United States.
Some of the best and brightest doctors,
right,
neurosurgeons,
which makes them less educated over there and difficult to do. San Antonio is the same way. A lot of the most educated people who come through San Antonio or who are from here leave because there aren't jobs that fit their mind here, right? And we had a conversation about that. I know like AT&T, for example, had its headquarters here in San Antonio up until a few years ago, okay, on 1010 Broadway, North St. Mary's. And they moved it. Now, AT&T's building is still there. They have thousands of employees still in San Antonio, but the headquarters moved to Dallas. Last week or 2 weeks ago, it was announced that New Star Energy, which is located in the Rim area, that they're going to be bought out by another company in the second quarter, right? And guess what happened to all the jobs here in San Antonio? Bye-bye, right? And there's hundreds of them. So the thing is that other cities poach what we've got. Those jobs are going to Dallas and Houston, okay? So there's a brain drain going on in San Antonio, so it's beyond all that. So we need to like invest in UTSA more, and we need to invest in UIW more and Trinity more. The conversation that you and I had was actually very highbrow. It was very cerebral what we were talking about there. So I posted a longer clip, about 1:45, to show that you and I weren't just like talking shit. It was a little bit more of a fuller context of what we said. I said what I said, and I stand by it. San Antonio, compared to our contemporaries, compared to Houston, Dallas, and Austin, is not as affluent. We're also not as rich. Okay. Now, we're not McAllen. We're not Harlingen. I had somebody reach out to me saying that San Antonio in about 15, 20 years could go in that direction because we are short-sighted in how we plan for the future.
Well, the city just, they're kind of behind everybody else right now, and they need to do things to help infrastructure wise and, do more to bring this big business here into the city, and hopefully within the next couple years here, upcoming years, as they get new city council members coming through, re-elections and all that come through, maybe, they can get some people that can go ahead and change the narrative,
Okay. So real fast, I work with money.
Yeah.
Okay. I work with people's money. That's what I do for a living. So when I'm not doing this podcast, I'm off doing other things. You have an IT job.
Yeah.
I have a finance gig. And what I have found in working with people is that the more money you have, the more you look towards the future.
More money, more problems.
In some respects, yes, more money, more taxes.
Yeah.
But you look more towards the future, right? The more money you have, you start thinking about retirement. You start thinking about buying a business or buying another home. It's always you put goals in front of you. But for those who are paycheck to paycheck, they can't see above the trees or past the trees because they have to worry about the here and now. And that's what I'm talking about the city of San Antonio. We are a paycheck to paycheck city. And that's why we don't do things years in advance. It's because the people don't see ahead when it comes to that and don't elect leaders who see that. And then you need to have a charismatic leader who has vision and is that visionary who can actually do and get people to galvanize and support him. Henry Cisneros was that guy, right? To some extent, Nelson Wolff at one point was. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Is that we have to think forward thinking. And I know a lot of people, I hear people talk about like various things politics wise, and I'm not going to go into left, right, because left is stupid and the right is stupid. But you ever hear people talk about things like bond proposals for school districts?
Yeah.
Those should be automatic yeses because you want to have the best for your kids when it comes to education. Do you ever hear people talk about, oh, I pay too much in property taxes to Northside ISD or NEISD or SAISD or whatnot? You need to have that because if you don't support the schools, you're going to have a bunch of teens dropping out and then they're going to be walking the streets, right? So you have, and so whenever I hear people talk about like sports and sports stadiums, they'll say something like, well, I'm never going to go to the game, so I won't support it. And that's not the thing. That's not the way that you should think about it. You should think about it. Will this benefit the city as a whole? And I think that there's certain parts of San Antonio where the west side thinks only about the west side, the south side only thinks about the south side, Stone Oak only thinks about Stone Oak, Alamo Heights thinks of only Alamo Heights. And we don't have a collective, like, city civic type of thing where we all can support something. And the sad thing is that the only thing that unites the city, there's probably 2 or 3 things. One is the Spurs. Fiesta.
Hey, speaking of Fiesta, they're bringing back La Semana Alegre.
I heard about that.
Can't wait, dude.
Yeah, someone was posting. It was actually Rudy J's wife. So don't forget to subscribe to Rudy J and Mike Taylor's podcast, In the Building.
In the Building.
They were doing something last night at a pub.
Yeah.
It was great, man. They did a really good job. She was talking about the fact on social media that she would go out and watch Selena perform at La Semana Alegre. It was also Stevie B.
Oh, yeah.
And she was naming all these acts from the 90s.
Dude. Yeah, man.
Okay, I might do Fiesta this year. I'm going to give it one last try, man. One last try. My friend Sean was talking to me last night about Fiesta. He was saying, well, what you got to do is you got to go to like these events early. You know, that maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem isn't the event. Maybe it's the time that I go.
Yeah.
So like when you go to Oyster Bake, you can go to Oyster Bake when it opens at what, like 10 a.m., 11 a.m.?
You can.
Or you can go to Oyster Bake when it gets a little bit rowdy at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
When it's Sucia time.
Yeah. So maybe I should just go early to some of these events. And I'm not going to do Taste of Northside, but King William, I might do it because I know Jeff Garcia is going to be around there. You know, he's going to be patrolling King William.
Taste of the North Side. That's his jam, dude.
$300 for a Fiesta event.
Hey, that ain't nothing to Jefe, dude. Come on.
Money bags.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, man. That's nothing to the Jefe, dude. And speaking of money, man, you all want to support the show? Look at that QR code there. Buy us a coffee, man. You know what? It only takes $1, dude. You can go ahead and donate to us starting out with just $1, man. If you want to tip us $5, you can, but it just helps the show grow.
That's right. That's right. Again, my name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We go for about an hour and a half or so. Sometimes we forget about the time.
Hey, I'm off today, so I don't give a shit.
You and I have talked about in the past. We had lunch a while back.
Sazon.
And you and I had a conversation about things that we could do for this show that would make it stand out.
Yeah.
You and I batted around the idea of doing a 24-hour show.
Oh God, dude, I can't even. Well, if we're gonna do that, you need help, man.
No, that's the whole point. A 24-hour show is a 24-hour
No, but I'm
show.
saying you need help. You need like people in here to help.
And it's funny because like people will ask the question. Like I brought this up to a few people to kind of get their mind to it all, their opinion. And they were like, that would be difficult. I was like, well, that'd be difficult for you. I can talk for hours, man. I can tall tale for 3 hours.
Oh,
I
God.
could talk Spurs for 3 hours. I could talk Cowboys and NFL for 3 hours.
It'd have to be entertaining. You'd have to have like
We'd have to have guests come
exactly.
in. You know, an hour or two with
Exactly.
Carolina Teague. We need to have Anthony Pittman come in.
Drinks
Get
with
Greg
CT.
Simmons.
Drinks with CT.
Dude, and we could do it to benefit like the Down Syndrome Association of San Antonio, you know, any you know, Humane Society, whatever the
Yeah.
case would be. A 24-hour show, I think we can do. Now, what time would we start? That's the thing.
No,
I think that we would start the show like around 6 a.m.
go to 6 a.m. the next day.
the next day.
Jeez, dude, I'd be baked.
You know, and we could have Spernandez on for an hour, you know. But the problem is that we can't have Chicana Fuerte over here because she'll make me pass out.
Oh God, man.
Prosecco, man.
Prosecco, dude. I'd be telling her, don't make us the mimosas, man. Those things are freaking huge, dude. That's what gets you in trouble, man.
So let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs because the rodeo road trip continues tonight. How excited are we for the Spurs to be back in action? Taking on the Sacramento Kings tonight. It is a late tip-off, 9 p.m. because it's on the West Coast. Sacramento coming in at 31-23, probably pissed off because, you know, the Kings should have had 2 All-Stars. And you know how many they had?
How many?
0. De'Aaron Fox, 27 points per game. Think that's going to get him an All-Star?
No.
All-Star bid? No. Sabonis, double machine, averaging 25 and 12? No.
San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama didn't even make the All-Star game.
Yeah, Wemby was on the outside looking in. He had a run in January.
Yeah.
January, he had a fantastic run, playing like an all-star. But man, the NBA is back at it tonight. The Kings are favored by 9.5 points. Jeff Garcia asked me the question on Locked On Spurs. By the way, you can follow him on the Locked On Spurs Network on YouTube. You also subscribe on like Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and on Threads. He asked the question, what is the one thing that you're looking forward to, or the storyline involving the Spurs that you want to have this season as the Spurs wrap up this season? Spurs are 55 games in, 27 to go.
Finish the season at least with the 4-game winning streak. 5-game winning streak.
Gonna be tough.
It's going to be tough, but if you could, you see, the thing is that I want this young team to end it on a high note. You've had such a losing season. Your season's been up and down. It hasn't gone the way that the players had envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
If you finish the season on a high note, you get on a 5-game winning streak, it gives you hope for next year. Because I'm saying, man, the losing affects you mentally. You don't want to have that losing culture. You want to be able to end it on a high note saying, we played like crap the whole year, but we finished on a 5-game winning streak. We can do this shit next year. You know?
I told Jeff on there, I see what you're going there. You want to change the culture,
change the narrative
by having some success down the stretch.
Exactly.
It's going to be difficult to get to 4 because they haven't had a 3-game winning streak since December of 2022.
But they can't. They could. You know, they could do it.
Well, I mean, they've got a lot of games coming up that are still on the road. I mean, they take on the Kings tonight, the Lakers tomorrow, the Jazz on the 25th. Then they're at Minnesota. They don't come back to San Antonio until they play OKC on the 29th here.
Yeah.
On Leap Day.
Jason Garcia over here in the chat, mad that you don't know how to pronounce his name. He says, you can say Jeff Garcia, but you can't say Jason Gonzalez. But you say Jason Gonzalez. He says, thanks, Mike, because it's Jason Garcia.
Oh, okay. My bad. So I told Jeff that my thing about the Spurs right now, I want to see if Wemby hits a rookie wall.
I don't think, you know what? The ceiling is so high for Wemby right now that I don't think he's going to hit the rookie wall. Look at what happened right now. I retweeted this before the show. Week 17 of the 2023-2024 season, and this is per NBA stats, right? NBA.com/stats and at NBA stats on the X.
Mm-hmm.
Who leads the league right now in total blocks and blocks per game through week 17? None other than the Spurs rookie, Victor Wembanyama. He has total blocks through week 17, 156. Brook Lopez has 145. Chet Holmgren, 143. You have Kessler with 132. Anthony Davis, 128 blocks per game. Victor Wembanyama leads that category with 3.2. Kessler from the Utah Jazz, 2.8. Brook Lopez, 2.7. Chet again, 2.6. And Anthony Davis, 2.5. Victor Wembanyama leads in both those categories as far as total blocks for the year and blocks per game.
Now, Wemby is going to be Rookie of the Year. He's a he's a phenom.
But is he in the contention for defensive player?
I think he'll probably be second team all defense, which would be interesting. There are some people who are holding out, still saying that Chet Holmgren is the Rookie of the Year. And again, a lot of Spurs fans got pissed off because when we restarted this podcast the first week of January, I had mentioned that at that point in the season, Chet Holmgren was the Rookie of the Year. At that point. But in January, Chet Holmgren laid an egg in January, and Wemby played at an all-star level, finally won Rookie of the Month. This is his to win. He is head and shoulders above Chet Holmgren as a player at this point. This is his to win. The casinos think that he's going to win. And now you're seeing all of these reporters from like Yahoo Sports and whatnot who are still holding out saying that Chet's their guy. And they're saying, well, the minutes played. And, the minutes restriction saying that that's the reason why that they're going to not vote for Victor Wembanyama.
That's a stupid asinine reason.
It's an asinine reason because you can't point to a stat.
That's dumb.
Okay. Now, I understand that Oklahoma City is winning. And if it was a tie or if it was even close, this would be Chet Holmgren's award.
Yeah.
But Wemby has shown that he is far above a better player than Chet Holmgren. And because of that, this is his award to win, and he's going to win it. Now, he's got to get to 65 games, okay? So Wemby can't get hurt. Gets to 65 games, he's going to do it, right? Chris Gonzalez saying, I know it would be a miracle, but going 500 would be great to see. Got to wait till next year because the Spurs are already guaranteed a losing record this year. Yeah. But if you're saying the rest of the season, the Spurs going around 14-13, 13-14, that has some potential there.
The Vegas odd makers have the Spurs winning at least 16 games for the rest of the season. Total 16 games. 16
games, and the Spurs' worst season of all time, I believe, is 22 and 60. Ridiculous. And Pop still has his job.
He's going to be the coach next season as well.
Jeez.
That's not going to change, Mike.
I don't get it, man. I honestly don't get it. There's a fascination with that guy. 5 losing seasons in a row.
He wants to finish what he started, and basically
they just started again.
I know. He wants to go ahead and get this group where he feels they're in a good place. I believe at that point he'll hand the reins over to someone else and see what happens.
And I believe everything that you say there. But that is the most arrogant thing that he could be thinking.
I'm just saying that's probably what's going to happen,
Like it's very, there's nobody who's better than me at this job. You know what? At some point, you got to retire at some point.
Yeah.
And I can see Pop being on the stands at 80 years old, and it's just going to piss me off. It's just going to piss me off.
Now is the time to bet against Vegas. LOL. Vane Stain says, I'm just like, no, you don't want to do that. It's going to be hard pressed for this team to really, win more than 20 games, and the Spurs are actually, like we're saying, they're back in action tonight. They're going to play the Kings, but they're also going to have a watch party this Friday at the Rock again in the evening. If you want to watch the Spurs go up against the Los Angeles Lakers, man. I mean, hey, your consolation prizes, you're going to be hanging out with the peeps. You'll be hanging out with the gente at the Rock. Have some drinks, have some food, good conversation. It's a consolation prize,
I enjoyed it at the Rock, man. And I know that they haven't sold out yet their Spurs Club membership.
I'm on the fence about renewing my season tickets. I have until today. I'm going to call my season ticket rep. I'm like, I can either upgrade if I want to, or I can just say, you know what? F it, dude. I don't want to be privy to having to pay for these seats and to watch another losing season.
That's
I could
the
do
thing.
that from the house.
You can watch it from home.
Yeah.
Now the Spurs Club is having their this week. They're having this weekend rather. They're going to have their open house for those who just joined the membership over there. So that's going to be pretty cool. I like watching games at the Rock. They have the taco trucks there. They serve burgers there. They've got full bar.
The 360 photo you took with Fernandez.
Yes. And this time I won't be bundled in 3 layers of clothing.
Oh God. There was the clothes that make me look chunky. No,
dude, it was 15 degrees when we were there. I look third trimester when I'm really second trimester.
It's okay, Mike. We're of a certain age.
We're
bro.
fluffy.
We got dad bods, bro. It's all good.
Let's show my screen here, because if you remember this Monday night, UIW, Texas A&M Commerce,
God.
the melee
in the palace, the malice in the palace.
Man, the haymakers on Hildebrand. Look at that. Right on cue, baby. UIW announced the suspensions of 4 players from that game Monday night. Again, they lost to Texas A&M Commerce in overtime, 76-72. Incarnate Word was winning late in the game, blew it in the second half. Commerce had a 3-pointer to tie the game, and then hit a dagger late in overtime. During the handshake line, the players were, saying, good game, good game, good game, good game. And then boom, they started fighting each other. This was on ESPN Plus. Our Katie Goodman, our friend of the show, Katie Goodman, was on the call on ESPN Plus. This fight extended. They went to commercial, then they signed off, and apparently the fight flared back up again.
Like, Katie, don't stop. You're announcing. Give us the play-by-play from the fight.
So, according to the Southland Conference and UIW, Incarnate Word point guard Elijah Davis will be suspended for 3 games. Center Gabe Benny Till, forward Marcus Glover, and guard Alex Anderson suspended for 2 games apiece.
How many games were left? 5?
About 5 or 6 games before the Southland Conference tournament. A&M Commerce guard Ant Abraham, forward Jerome Brewer Jr., and forward Kiwo Agua suspended for 3 games. And then there's also a guard named Prince Davies who got a 1-game suspension.
Who the hell's going to play these games? They got nobody, man.
I know. And both of these teams aren't very good. I mean, they're at the bottom of the Southland Conference. But the Southland Conference, the winner of that tournament in early March, I believe it starts March 10th, goes to the big dance. So, I mean, there's something there about that. But, man, this is a stain on the city of San Antonio, but it was entertaining. It's like I mentioned the other day. I can bitch and moan and complain that I don't want to see this, but I kind of do sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a spectacle. I question why they do handshakes at the end of games.
That's dumb.
It's not 5th grade.
Nah.
These are grown-ass men.
You know what would have been funny if they would have had, how they have that Boban commercial and he's doing the announcing. He's like, he bounces again. It would have been funny if they would have had a Boban voice saying he punches, he's punching again.
Sam Salinas reaches out and says, haymakers on Hildebrand, love it. Man, I thought of that on the spot, Sam. That's when
make the shirt.
Haymakers on Hildebrand. I remember I was doing a show at San Antonio Sportscast, and I was doing it with Rob, and I did a transition into the commercial. I did a transition from one topic to the next to a commercial break.
Yeah.
And before we go there, Rob stopped the show, and he was like, everybody, that was the most professional transition I've ever seen in my entire life. He was like, I'm over here impressed. Let's go to commercial.
Oh, God.
Rob was funny about that, man.
Hey, speaking of going to commercials, man, we got to go ahead and give our brothers some shout outs here. We'll go ahead and start with Jeff from Locked On Spurs, because actually Jeff's going to be coming back on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. He's going to get him on to be a guest again, on his normal segment.
Instead of lighting a fire under me, Jeff Garcia is also known to throw gasoline on top of me like he did yesterday.
Hey, man, ever since you went ahead and went at him and you said, money bags, it's on, baby. It's on. There we go, Jeff. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at JeffG105SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at JeffGSpursZone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
I tell you what Jeff Garcia is working on today, but my cell phone doesn't work right now, so I can't surf it. If you can, go to my screen real fast. I had some friends ask about these T-shirts yesterday, the ones that say it's Marbach nice.
Jeez, bro.
And it became a conversation piece at dinner last night.
Oh, no.
This might be one of the funniest things we've ever done on the show. It's so funny because they were asking the question again. Do you come up with these things like haymakers on Hildebrand? Or no, we're just bullshitting for an hour and 15, hour and a half. And they said it's Marbach nice is like we should do about like 100 of these shirts and just sell them on the corner of 410 and Marbach. Dude, we'd make money, dude.
Be making
make money on this.
People were saying we should put the Puro Exit 7, the little sign.
Yeah, well, I think that we should add the Exit 7. Like that little green marker right there. Yeah. It would make it perfect.
I can add that in there.
It would make it perfect. And I would buy one. I'd buy one. I'd sport it. I'd probably get my ass kicked. But dude, if I wore it, it's Marbach nice shirt to Fiesta.
Oh, Lord. People be buying you drinks, bro. You'd be king.
I'd lie. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Marbach adjacent. I went to Holmes. That's Ingram.
Oh, man. Look at that. It says, I don't know, Monte. It looks like Vaughn is carrying his left a little low. This could hurt him
in later rounds.
You imagine the commentary for that fight?
Yeah.
We should do that. A comedian needs to do that. Speaking of comedians, we're going to have one in studio with us tomorrow.
Tell us about it tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're going to have Joe Coronado, I believe that's his name. He's going to be the in-studio guest tomorrow. So he's going to be the guy that heads up Chancla Academy. Here on Instagram, man. You can go ahead and check him out. And he's going to be in studio with us, and we're going to be talking about some of the puro, conversations, as far as the jewels that we have here in the Marbach area. Some of the things that have gone and left Marbach and little things that we remember. I'm going to go ahead and hit him up after the show, let him know what we're going to be talking about. So tomorrow, yes, we might talk a little bit about sports. We might talk about the Spurs losing to the Kings, but more importantly, it's going to be a lighthearted episode where we're going to have fun with it, So you can think of some things too that you'd like to throw in there, because I mean, the guy is puro. He's all over San Antonio. He's connected well with the raza, with the people, so we can have conversations with him, and he's funny as hell, man.
I'm looking forward to it, man. The whole puro San Antonio and all that, it becomes a big deal. There's two things.
What is puro? That's what the conversation
puro
was.
San Antonio, and then there's just being puro in general when it comes to Latino culture.
What about puro Marbach?
Well, it's interesting that other parts of the country have their version of puro San Antonio. Half of my family is from the California area, so we go to, just outside of Los Angeles, right? And it's a different vibe, but they have the same type of pride in their neighborhood and what they're doing. One of the TV shows that I used to watch a lot was called This Fool. It was on Hulu. Had great ratings, as far as people who would, what's it called? That people who would review, excellent reviews. It got canceled after 2 seasons, man. I hated it whenever there's shows that get canceled, and that they're so good, and they're being reviewed so well, and it's a Latino one, got canceled. But if you want to check it out, man, it's a good show. Last night, college basketball. We got to get into college basketball, man, because
I'm recording a segment today just for college basketball with my good friend Benjamin Bornstein. Well, maybe we'll play that on Friday.
Yeah, please do. Please do. The big game yesterday, though, was Alabama beating Florida, by the way, 98-93 in overtime. And, of course, the LSU Tigers upset 17th ranked Kentucky 75-74, sinking a shot at the buzzer. But what I'm interested in right now is Joe Lunardi and Jeff Palm. They both do the bracketology type of thing. It's where they basically say this is where they think people are going to be seated. Right now, the teams that they say are on the bubble right now include Texas A&M.
Yeah.
The Texas A&M has some work to do to ensure a spot inside of the 64. But other teams out there, look at the ones that are the last four in. These are basketball schools, though. Seton Hall, Gonzaga, Butler, not having the seasons that they normally have. But you got to think about it. When they get into the tournament, just the corporate knowledge of the coaching staff, the players, just get in the tournament. Even if you get in as an 8 seed or a 9 seed, you can make noise. I saw this thing on ESPN yesterday where they were talking about the top 4 1 seeds, and they said they all have something in common. They're all super beatable. Not that they can be beaten. You got to bring your A game to beat them, but they are super beatable. There's nobody in the top 10 right now that is just so far ahead of everybody else, and it's probably going to be a bunch of upsets going on in March Madness, and I cannot wait. We're going to be there. We're going to be doing the show on March 21st.
Hey,
from Las Vegas, taking the show on the road.
Are you going to be sober?
No.
You're going to be fucked up from hell, Mike. Demon Mike time.
Demon Mike.
It's like you're going to be waking up in your hotel room. Oh, Joe, fuck, bro. I don't know where I'm at.
I'm just going to do a 15-minute segment.
I'm going to puke and rally, baby.
You can rally, baby. Right now, the Texas Longhorns are predicted to be an 8 seed in the Midwest right now. And again, A&M is on the outside looking in on the bubble. Baylor projected to be a 3 seed. Now, there is a Dallas region. Houston projected to be the 1 seed as well. So a lot of teams that have some Texas flavor in there. Texas Tech expected to be a 6 seed.
Hey, shout out to Chris Leah.
Yeah, Big 12 in the SEC. They're the ones that are projected to have the most teams, 9 each.
This shirt, bro. And people were making fun of the models. They're like, those people aren't from Marbach. I'm like, bro, that's the stock model. What do you want me to do about it? I can't put the Marbach on them. They're the wrong color.
But I would say this, though. If you brought that girl into the neighborhood, she'd be popular.
Oh, God.
That guy's getting his ass handed to him. That girl right there, she's invited to the cookout.
She's invited to the carne asada.
Yeah. The curly hair. I had this one girl that I knew in when I was in college. I thought she was the prettiest girl in the world, dude. I thought she was beautiful. She had this spirally curly hair that I have never seen anyone ever have, and this is as close to it as I've ever seen.
She reminds me of my childhood friend Courtney when I was growing up. She was one of my good friends. She was like tomboy. She'd always play with all the guys, you know. She could throw down and everything. It kind of reminds me of Courtney.
So we have a Tim Gonzalez, which is out and says, Rudy Campos and I came up with the Wemby victory flag shirt to honor Wemby and Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag expected to be the #1 overall draft pick in 2025. Man, we're looking so far ahead. We're not even looking at Wemby's second year. We're looking at his third year in the league.
Oh,
Joe Gonzalez asking the question, did AT&T just get all of their account information taken?
I don't know. I restarted my phone in hopes that it was working, and it's still not down. It's not working. It's down still. So, Mike, I think your day's just opened up.
Yeah. Can't do shit. Can't call clients. Can't do anything.
Unless you got a landline, bro. That's about it.
Well, my clients would need to have landlines too.
No, you can call them from a landline if they have a cell phone. It don't matter. But if they're AT&T customers, yeah, it's out of luck.
I mean, AT&T is by far the biggest player when it comes to it.
I just want to give a quick shout out, man. It's sad to me that my alma mater, man, West Campus High School, the boys, man, they're moving on to round 2 of the playoffs. They're going to be facing Cole tomorrow, 6 p.m. But the sad thing is, they're going to wind up closing the school. The school meant a lot to the community. This is the second time that they're going to close West Campus, man. And it's the only other high school that's in that whole area over by Ray Ellison, Five Palms. The only other high school that they have is far away from everybody. You can't walk to that high school. That would be Southwest, or you're going to go and get shipped off to South San. You got to take the bus to get there. Or you got to have your parents drive you there, or what have you. And it's a longer drive. this was a perfect spot for everybody in that little community there to go to high school.
Yeah, we need to give some love to them tomorrow and list
Yeah.
all the schools that are out there, because it's beyond West Campus. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, man. It's a lot of
Jay's making a run. Then the girls' playoffs are going on as well. So lots of teams to be excited for. What ends up happening typically, they get through that buzzsaw that is the Dallas schools.
Oh,
Eventually, they have to hit a Dallas school.
there's some of the
And-
teams from Austin too, man. Hey, man, somebody in the comments, bro. They're burning my boy over here from West Campus because he got a full-on beard and everything. And somebody in the comments says somebody needs to check number 13's birth certificate.
Okay, so that's funny because I referee high school basketball, right? And middle school basketball. And I did a while back, this was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I did a game in Concan, which is kind of like where Garner State Park is.
Yeah.
And I drove all the way out there for it. And it was a high school game, but it was a high school freshman level game. And they were playing a team from okay, I'm trying to think about. So it's not Pleasanton, because Pleasanton has green jerseys.
Yeah.
These were maroon, so that'd be Floresville, if I'm not mistaken. And so Floresville goes out there to play them. The kids that are playing for Lakey High School, whatever it is over there, they're all clean shaven, or they have like little stubble, and they looked very innocent. They looked very young.
Yeah.
Right? They looked like they were 12, 13, 14 years old, because they were 13, 14 years old. Dude, the Floresville kids showed up. Full on beard.
Got a family. Who's that? That's Mijo.
So they're on their second marriage.
Drinking a beer before the game.
Dude, the Floresville kids, they went up to go do like the, let's go ahead and introduce the captains. And the captains come up and they shake hands, and the kids from Lakey were like shaking. And it's not that the Floresville kids were mean or anything like that. They just look like men.
Yeah.
They look like they just,
Bro, that's how we used to feel when we'd have to play Carrizo Springs. They're freaking huge, bro. It's gonna be a long night. You see those corn-fed guys coming up, and you'd be like, oh shit. Pain. The word of the game is pain.
Jacob reaches out to us and says there's a wives only area.
Jeez. Kid comes over, brings you water. Who's that? Is that your little brother? That's Mijo.
It's the freshman team, but somehow they all drove over there.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, and
That's
so I
Mijo.
had one of the coaches come up to me and goes, "You can't tell me those kids are all freshmen." And I'm like, "They are,
Unless they were held back."
It's a different life, man. They live a different life.
It's true, man.
It's like you guys have ranches, right? They work on ranches.
Yeah.
It's
the hustle, bro.
That's basically it, man. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny.
Hey, one thing that we haven't touched on that I wanted to talk about real quick is I saw this earlier today when I was scouring to see what we're going to talk about. EA Sports. They have a EA Sports game, right? College football game that comes out every year.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be the EA Sports 25. So they have all 134 FBS teams included in this year's NCAA 25 video game, right? So one of the colleges that's included, UTSA football.
Nice.
Yeah.
How far can we go with them?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to get the game and play it and see what the hell happens.
Let's go to 2 box real fast if you can.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because you want to play your team, right? So I'm sure the levels aren't going to be as high as though you're playing, with a UT squad, right? I'm sure the quarterback level is not going to be up to 99 or 100. It's going to be like 78, right?
Yeah.
Is Frank Harris still the quarterback at UTSA?
I don't know,
in this game.
I don't know. We're going to see what they're going to do as far as the stats go, and not the stats, but like the teams, the rosters, that kind of stuff, But it's interesting, hey, shout out to UTSA football, man. They're in the video game. So I'm sure it's going to be popular here, especially in San Antonio, People are going to be able to get to play as UTSA football.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Let's do the entertainment bump.
All right. We'll do that right now.
Okay, so we like talking pop culture and nostalgia here, and someone asked us, why don't we talk about soccer? Well, soccer, you have to consume it. It's very difficult to talk about it, right? Because if it's a 0-0 game, it's a 0-0 game, right? But there are a lot of soccer stars out there. Messi, went to Miami and was a big star over there again. And Cristiano Ronaldo is another name, right? Another big name. TMZ Sports has an article about him this morning that just dropped about 15 minutes ago.
Really?
Take a look at this photo.
Oh God. Do I want to see it?
It's a photo of him with his son.
Jeez, bro.
Okay, so Ronaldo is a sex symbol known worldwide, right?
The brother's an athlete, man. Come on. I mean, he's
right.
in shape,
But look at the abs of his son. We were talking about high schoolers, right?
Look at this comment here.
I am 12. But Ronaldo's son is 13.
I'm 12.
How many 13-year-olds have six packs?
You know what would just made the picture worse, bro? He had a full-on beard, dude. Like, damn.
This has got to be a little bit awkward, man. I mean, Ronaldo, obviously, international superstar, world-class athlete. You want him to be in shape, right?
Yeah.
But to have your kid be that ripped at 13 is bizarre.
There ain't nothing wrong with that, man. He's just trying to keep his boy in shape.
Okay, in shape. I mean, this is
hey, man.
Borderline abuse, man.
No, man. He's just working out with his pops, dude. Good for him. He's getting the boy in shape at a young age. Maybe he just wants to keep him in shape in case he wants to go ahead and go into the profession himself. You always have these scouts looking at you, man.
It looks like this kid doesn't eat chips. Like he
no,
doesn't
bro.
eat candy.
Man, come on, Mike. They have people prepare their food for them. They have a chef that's probably in the home preparing all their meals.
He hasn't had an enchilada his entire life.
No, bro. They wouldn't know what to do with that. That'd probably fuck their stomach up. He'll be taking a shit for a week.
13 years old, man. And again, his son, like his dad, plays soccer as well.
Yeah, they ain't eating chicken on a stick, Mike.
I mean, unless it's range free. Let's talk about that real fast. If we go back to Two Box real fast.
Yeah.
I bought the other day. I was going to HEB and going into the eggs aisle. There's the jumbo. There's the large,
the brown and the white.
There's the brown and the white. There's also two other ones that I hadn't seen before. One was called cage free. And then the other one is a different one. So the cage free means that they're not stuck in a cage
and
tortured for their lives.
Yeah, they're running around.
They're running around, but they're running around in a small area. It's still confined, but it's a small area. And then there's something called free range.
Those are the ones that wherever.
Yeah, they just go wherever they want on that farm, right?
Yeah.
Or ranch, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I was reading an article saying that the free range eggs taste different than the cage free, and cage free tastes different than the other ones, right?
Yeah.
And obviously there's a cost associated with it.
You can even see the yolks are different when you're cooking.
That's the weird thing, man. That's the weird thing. I've been buying because it says it's healthier and it tastes different.
Yeah.
I've been buying the free range eggs.
Yeah.
And you crack them open, that yolk don't look the same.
It's not a pale color.
Yeah, it is. And it comes out in one bloop.
Yeah.
It doesn't like it doesn't ooze out where you're like holding the shell out. It comes out just like, and it tastes different. And I don't know if it tastes better. It just tastes different. It tastes like the animal was not suffering. Is it psychological as a placebo effect?
It doesn't have all the antibiotics and all the shit they inject them with,
Yeah, it just tastes different. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's in my head.
It's the yolks are different. You can see the color. If you put them side by side, one is a light yellow and the other one's almost like an orange when you break it out, and it like comes out, like you said, all at once, and it's different. Dude.
Now, Joe reaches out and says, yes, it's a placebo effect. He says that on our YouTube stream. Maybe it is, but you can actually physically, visually see the difference between the two.
Yeah, there's a difference.
It doesn't look the same. And they're eggs. They are chicken eggs. They look different. The yolk is different. The color is different. Now, one of my favorite shows, which, by the way, is going to become the biggest show in America starting on Monday. That's a great conversation piece that we need to have, by the way.
Yeah.
There was an article that I saw the other day. It was actually yesterday about television shows, right? And you know how it used to be that we would watch television shows, on ABC, CBS, all that stuff, right? But it was an article saying that research has been done on streaming services to see what are the 10 most popular TV shows in America right now. And they happen to be all old shows. Then more people are watching old episodes of shows like Friends, old episodes of Seinfeld, Big Bang Theory, compared to what's coming out brand new on Hulu, brand new on Peacock, because if it goes on NBC, it goes on Peacock. If it goes on, that more people have been watching Suits, the number one show in America last year for viewed minutes was Suits, a TV show from USA Network that came out a decade ago. Gilmore Girls is a top 10 show. New Girl is a top 10 show. Now, the reason why I thought about this whole thing was I read the article last night, but beyond all that was we were talking about eggs. One of my favorite shows is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Boyle is a funny character. There's an episode in there when he's trying to teach the captain how to make eggs.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm going to make scrambled eggs he was going to make eggs for his husband, right? And he's making the eggs, and Boyle's freaking out because he goes, why are you done already? And he goes, well, because you turn the heat up and you cook the eggs and it's done faster. And Boyle said something that I've now started doing, by the way, which is you don't cook eggs with high heat or medium heat. You do it low heat. That it's supposed to be a process that takes a while. Dude, that's not a placebo effect. I've been cooking scrambled eggs. I eat eggs basically 4 days a week, right? Whether they be scrambled, fried, whatever. I eat a lot of egg just for protein purposes. Dude, I never realized that a low heat creates fluffy eggs.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was 46 years old when I figured that out. But going back to why I was bringing up the TV show, by the way, I noticed on Netflix that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is going to be available on Monday, and I bet you it's going to be a sensation because, A, it's a great show. It's never been available on Netflix. I mean, more people have Netflix than they do have Peacock. But, dude, Netflix is going to throw this out there, and it's going to be a huge show, a huge hit all over again.
Yeah. Speaking of shows, we got some shows coming out this weekend. I'm going to try to watch some stuff today. I know we have Bad Batch, which I'm big into Star Wars, so that's an animated series. Mm-hmm. I know El Jefe, Jeff, was watching that yesterday. I'm going to be watching it today. And we also have the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know that's not something that you probably watch, but it's something I avidly watch with my kids when they were growing up. So I'm going to see if this live action series is better than the movie from M. Night Shyamalan, because that was a hot mess. So I did get to see, full disclosure here, an unfinished version of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series, about a year ago with my daughter. We were invited to come out and check it out. We had to sit here in front of the computer and watch it. And they actually paid us to watch, I think it was 4 episodes of the series. And it was quite good, man. Even though it was unpolished and didn't have all the CGI and all that, I thought it was really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing the whole show now, or the whole series now, in its finished product. So that's out if you want to check that out this week.
Lots of people reaching out to us right now. Vein Stain says, if you want a fluffy egg, you do that. Then you add some butter while stirring, or you could do milk, right? That'll also work.
I don't know, man. I just use butter, dude.
Now, coming at me saying, I'm picturing Gordon Ramsay. This is according to the Drew Show, telling Gordon Ramsay telling a young Jimenez that his scrambled eggs is shiz.
What do you call this shite?
Chris Gonzalez saying it's going to be hard to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because of the passing of Holt.
Oh,
Andre Brower, the actor, passed away a couple of months ago.
He did, man.
He was great, man. That's such a good show. I don't know, were you ever into Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I watched it. It was funny.
It was a funny show.
Yeah.
You know what's also funny? Show my screen real fast.
Okay.
This happened a couple of weeks ago in
Oh,
Texarkana,
God, bro.
Texas. Police were called for an animal sighting. People couldn't figure out what it was. It was a kangaroo.
What did you say? It was a strange animal sighting.
A strange animal sighting. Animal control called out. Police called out, and they captured a freaking kangaroo in Texarkana, Texas.
God.
Look at it, and it's nice enough to be held, right? It didn't stand up and punch him in the face. It was nice enough to be held. But I found this to be a funny story. And what I found out about this, because we were going to talk about this yesterday before we lost track, this animal was found in Spring Lake Park, right along the border of Texas and Arkansas. But the question that was asked is, can you own a kangaroo in Texas? Now, according to Texas Monthly, Texas is one of 13 states where you can own a kangaroo.
Jeez,
dude, we got to ask Bushby. We got to find her because she's from Australia.
Oh, she got her account suspended indefinitely.
Oh,
by
really?
Daddy Elon, bro.
So I met a guy from Australia about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was having some drinks and with some friends, and we noticed that this one guy was kind of watching we were watching the NFC Championship game. It was the Niners and the Lions, and he was there enjoying the game, but he was by himself. And me and my friends were watching this game for 4 hours, and we noticed that this guy was by himself the entire time.
Yeah,
and we're like, "Hey, come on over, party with us. Are you by yourself? Come party with us." He hung out. He was from Australia. He's training at Lackland Air Force Base with the military. He was talking. I was asking him about like misconceptions about Texas. He was like asking me, "Well, where's my cowboy hat? Where's my horse and all that stuff?" Right. So I asked about the misconceptions of of Australia, like where are all the kangaroos?
You
also,
call that a knife?
And he goes, "Yeah." he goes, "Man, where I'm from, they're fucking everywhere, man."
Like squirrels?
He goes, "I hate kangaroos," and he was going off on them. He goes, "They're assholes," and he goes, "And there's certain spiders that are over there and all that stuff." He goes, "You do not want to be in the outback because the outback sucks."
Look at this. I would pay to see this. Can Jimenez take a kangaroo?
No, I can't, man. That kangaroo would make me its bitch and put me in its pouch. Vainstain says those kangaroos are a menace. He saw a vid where they drowned dogs in the river. Dude, that's the thing. That kangaroo right there that Texarkana police have appears to be docile, appears to be smaller, maybe younger. The adult ones, though,
mean.
Assholes, apparently.
Mean little fuckers, dude.
That's great, dude.
Hey, you know what's going to be happening, too, over on the weekend?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but if you're looking to watch a movie, I guess for Santikos, since they had those technical difficulties, is what they were saying about a week or so ago when they were shut down, they're going to have a Fam-Ticos Day, February the 25th.
Fam-Ticos Day?
Fam-Ticos. So
Fam-Ticos
it's
Day.
going to happen this Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. During that little time slot, you can go watch a movie for $5. They're going to have $5 movies, popcorn, drinks, nachos, and bar specials. I know you don't think much of the Casablanca, or not the Casablanca, but the Westlake Santikos location.
I mean, it's more buck nice.
It's nice. I like it.
Now, would you ever go to a movie theater to watch a classic movie?
Oh, I've done that before. It's fun, dude.
Yeah, I went and I saw Die Hard in December with my nephew.
That's a Christmas movie.
I could buy that. It was a Christmas party.
Yeah.
It was a Christmas party. But I like the fact that like Flicks and Animal Draft House, Alamo Draft House, like you mentioned, will show movies that are like classics. I'm looking at what's going on at Flicks. Flicks is so good, dude. Flicks is amazing.
Yeah, I like it because I can go ahead and get me a little pour while I'm watching my movie, you know? And once I get me at least 2 pours, that's when it all just the dam breaks, bro. After that, I get 2 pours. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Bring me a beer.
It's some of the places that like you always drive by.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's nice or not. I had a friend of mine tell me the other day that she was over at Pinstack, which is over off of 410 and Blanco. It's kind of like where the comedy club is and where the Alamo Draft House is over there. I don't know if you've ever been to Pinstack.
Oh, I passed by it. I haven't been there yet, but I know exactly where it's at.
I've taken my kids to Main Event, and I like Main Event. Main Event actually has some pretty good pizza, dude. Some of the best pizza you'll find in town might actually
Which
come from Main Event.
location, though?
I like the one on 151.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the one I go to.
So I like Main Event, but Pinstack, my goodness, man.
Bougie, dude.
It's nice.
Yeah. They got, I've seen the pictures and everything. They have really good food there. You know, they have video games and they got bowling and all that. And it looks really nice. I wouldn't mind going with my kids. The problem is it's hard to get them all together in one place now because two of them don't even live here in the house, you know? So it's just my youngest son who's going to be graduating this year. So we're waiting for my son. He's going to be, the oldest is coming back for my birthday. When he comes back here in the middle of March, we'll go over there.
I took my 3 kids over there. They've got bowling there. They've got really nice bars. Not 1, not 2, but they've got like 3 really good bars inside of there. They've got the video games. It seems to be a little bit more adult. Like, you know, you could go there on a date night with your spouse or girlfriend over there, even as an adult, because although there are some kids there, it's not overrunning with kids. I mean, you go to Main Event sometimes and you can't even hear yourself think because there's so many kids running around.
Especially if you're going on a weekend, Friday, Saturday, you know? Especially like in the evening, you know, like it's getting near the evening. That's when they'll start to leave. But man, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it's just littered with kids, man.
Dude, if you go there like on a Thursday at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., it's much
kids.
No, without the kids. I'm talking about like on a weekday.
Oh, yeah, no, with the adults, yeah.
When you have adults that show up at Main Event, that's interesting. You'll see fire departments there, happy hour.
Yeah.
During the week, it's not that bad, man. I mean, it's because there's not a lot of kids there.
You know what? If you want to keep it puro, dude, and you want a happy hour, the Grand Tequila, I know that's not your scene,
I
man.
like Grand Tequila,
The Grand Tequila happy hour, bro. You can get you a beer at the bar for like $150, dude.
Why is it not my scene?
Well,
it's Mexican food.
It's Marbach nice for you.
Grand Tequila on 151?
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's for you. I was gonna say it's Marbach nice. It's no Sazon.
No, it's not. But it's not like it's not a taqueria in the middle of a hole in the wall.
But it's a good,
nothing wrong hole in the wall taquerias, by the way.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that
it's not bad, dude.
It's a nice place, dude. They have at that place, the only good buffet, Mexican food buffet in town.
Yeah.
Now it's not like 30 different items, but every time I go to Grand Tequila for their buffet, do it on Saturday morning. They got the enchiladas, they got the potatoes, they got fajitas, picadillo, all that stuff. They got the salads going on, tortillas. It's a very good buffet, man.
Look at this, Chris Gonzalez. Grand Tequila is too puro for you. It's too ethnic.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been there before. I've hosted events there before.
Fucking Jeff Garcia. Yeah. Oh my God, bro. He had me freaking dying. He went and called me or texted, both actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, did you hear what fucking Mike said? I'm like, what'd he say? He couldn't dress like a cowboy because it was going to be too ethnic.
No, I wasn't going to dress like a South Texas vaquero, is what I said.
Oh,
I said I wanted to go stylish, not ethnic, is what I said.
Freaking Jeff had me laughing that day, bro.
I know. He called me the other day and was
Jesus,
like,
man.
hey, Jimenez, remember that time that you said
Oh,
that,
my God.
oh, what did he say? What did he say? That I didn't want to go to Fiesta because it was too Tejano? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, he said because you didn't like Tejano.
No, he said it was too Tejano.
Oh,
and I was like, what do you mean? Now, do I like Tejano music? No.
I grew up on cumbias, Tejano. Look, man, it's not like it's my go-to music.
Okay,
but I dig it, dude. I respect it.
I'll watch a girl shake her ass to cumbias all day long, all night long. I'll buy her a beer.
It's in your DNA, you know, when you're with your gente, with your friends, your family, you're in Market Square, it's Fiesta, you have a beer in your hand.
I'm not going to run away from it.
You hear the beat? You hear that beat? They got some bangers going on.
I'm not going to run away from it. But what I'm saying is that when I have my presets on my car for the FM stations,
no Tejano
there's no Tejano to be had, dude. It's sports talk radio, a little bit of country.
Boom, boom, boom.
99.5 Kiss.
You don't get down with the accordion, bro?
Okay, so first of all, the beat goes boom, boom. Dun,
the air accordion?
Dun,
you don't get down with no air accordion?
Why do all songs end with ching ching? They all end the same way, dude. It's so funny, man.
We need to get you a little shirt with the accordion on there so you can when you get all drunk. When that beat drops. Come on, Mike. It's too. You're not gonna wear the shirt because it's too ethnic. Come on,
No,
man.
because it's lame.
Oh,
Is
bro,
what it is. Dude.
No,
It's lame. I like going to Market Square sometimes because, well, first of all, Mi Tierra is right there, and the bakery there is pretty on point, dude. But let's talk about Mi Tierra. I'd rather go, even though it's all Christmassy and the ceiling is too low. I'd rather go to Pico de Gallo.
I like Pico de Gallo. It's good.
La Margarita, which is still affiliated with Mi Tierra, is so much better than Mi Tierra.
But you know, nothing beats the hole in the wall places that are like on the south side of town that me and Jeff know about. They're like some little off the beaten trail places.
Yeah, I mean,
Man, they're good, bro.
Garcia's is really good off of Woodlawn and Fredericksburg. Best
Yeah.
enchiladas, and they have brisket like crazy over there. I talk about with affection Tacos Martinez on West Commerce because that's where I grew up and family wise, and we'd go there for tacos after church on Sundays, right? But there are some really good hole in the wall places. The bougie Mexican restaurants though are difficult. Like I went to Rosario's.
Was it the Viola Ventanas?
Okay, first of all, we're not going to speak ill of Viola Barrios, right?
Oh, I'm not speaking ill of it. I'm just saying
Los Barrios
it's
is
a
puro,
nice
dude.
restaurant.
Los Barrios by Edison High School.
Yeah.
I mean that's legit.
It's not a the food isn't bad. It's overpriced a little
The
bit. but
Viola's Ventanas.
It's a nice restaurant.
No, the other one, Hacienda, on the northeast side, that is overpriced.
No.
Ventanas is also kind of overpriced as well. What's that one in Helotes? Oh my God, what's the El Chaparral?
Okay.
That place is good, dude. It's pricey. That's one of the few places that's like, I guess, upper echelon, trying to be very hoity-toity Mexican food.
You know what?
That's a good one.
Speaking of food, since we're on this subject, what kind of tacos do you want for tomorrow? Because I'm buying breakfast tacos. You want me to get you some papa ranchera?
I'm a papas con huevo kind of guy.
You don't know papa ranchera?
Well, I mean,
Huine con huevo?
Oh, fuck that, dude.
Come on, bro.
I do. Okay, Spam? No.
Oh, man.
Wienes in tacos? No. No.
Huine
No. Now, wiener with tortilla?
and egg?
No, not with egg. That's gross, dude.
Oh,
but if you have the wiener with the tortilla with mustard, fine. But combining it with egg is gross.
Potato. Papa ranchera is good, bro.
Clue me in because
I'll get you one tomorrow and you try it.
Okay.
It's not gross. It's kind of like you have huevos rancheros, right?
Yeah.
It has some ranchera sauce inside with the potato.
Mario Cavazos is reaching out to us saying that I need to add some Beso Pluma to my playlist.
There you go. He's going to be in town, bro.
Yes, he's going to be performing at the Frost Bank Center, bringing his tour to town. He's going to be going to 4 cities in the state of Texas. Going to be at the Frost Bank Center Wednesday, July 17th. If you miss him on that day, you can go watch him Friday at the Moody Center in Austin.
Hand over fist. Wienes con huevo. Es bueno. I bet you if we gave you a wiener con huevo and we didn't tell you what it was, you'd eat that shit and you'd be like,
no, that's gross. Dude.
No,
I can smell it, dude. I lied. He's not going to be in 4 cities in Texas. I mean, 5. Homeboy's going to be at the American Airlines Center in Dallas on the 28th of June, the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth on the 30th of June, then the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, then the Moody Center, and then the Toyota Center in Houston. He's going all over Texas, baby.
Look at what Drew Show says. Shout out to you, Drew Show. He says Rosario has been replaced as the fancy Mexican food place by some place in Helotes.
Well, one in Helotes has been there for a while. It's really good. They also have a restaurant in Bernie as well. It's really good. It really, really is. The fajitas are amazing. But Rosario's, man, you go over there, I'll take 2 beef tacos. That'll be $24. It's like, what are these fiesta prices?
Yeah.
Going on over there. It used to be good, the one downtown in Southtown, which doesn't exist. They moved it someplace further up Southtown. No, man.
What about sausage and egg? Like kielbasa, algo así, you know?
I don't mind it. I can only do one because if I get more than one, it'll upset my stomach. I prefer not to.
What kind of hot sauce you putting on it?
Green.
Damn right. That shit goes hard, bro. You know what else is good too? Bean and cheese with a little bit of the Valentina hot sauce on it. That's a bad motherfucker.
Mhm. Green sauce all the way, dude.
Yeah.
Green sauce all the way. There's some places that have like a chipotle type style salsa. Not bad either, man.
Get him a taco de pelos. That's the tweet of the day, brother. Tweet of the day.
Well, what does it
like?
What does it say? Quote it, or what does it say?
Quote.
Make it a quote.
Make it a quote. Swiss, do your magic, brother.
All right, let's see the
Oh,
latest
God.
real fast. The FCC will almost certainly investigate the outage of AT&T. Experts are telling CNN. Says the FCC will investigate this week's incident, trying to figure out what went down. As of right now, they're not saying that they think it's going to be a terror type of thing.
Of course not. They don't want to scare the people.
Right.
It's what it is. I'm telling you. I've worked in IT for I don't know how long already. My first job was not flipping burgers. It was working for Kelly Air Force Base in the summertime. I've been trained in IT since I was in high school, even before then. I'm telling you, this has all the makings of a cyber attack. And they're just not going to say it because they don't want to scare people, saying that, oh, they attacked your infrastructure, that you were able to get to you here in the States.
Then we're going to find out. They have your passcode.
Oh, yeah, they probably got a lot more than that. But I'm just saying, it is what it is. I mean, if we don't get service by 1 or 2 o'clock, expect an announcement.
Yeah, I agree. Drew Show says the owner of Rosario's opened up a fusion Asian place called, I think it's China Latina is the one that she opened up. That was also
Nice.
in Southtown. She's Asian, met her a handful of times, and was very, very nice. China Latina was really good. It really was. I've been there before. But, you know, when it comes to Mexican food, you don't want to spend too much money on Mexican food. I remember George Lopez? I can't stand George Lopez anymore, but back in the day when he was funny,
before he turned to a dick.
Yeah, he would always talk about the fact that when you talk about Mexican food, it's the same 6 or 7 ingredients, just prepared in a different way. You know, if you ask the question, what's a burrito or what's a taco? Well, it's a tortilla with meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and guacamole. Oh, okay. Well, what is a quesadilla? Well, it's a tortilla with meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and guacamole. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, just prepared differently. So every time I go to a restaurant, I think of that sometimes, and I hate the fact that I think of a George Lopez joke because he's so unfunny these days.
True enough, man.
I'm Team Ralph Barbosa, by the way.
Oh God.
Chris Gonzalez says, I'm got service now. I'll be driving and listening. I have a symbol that says SOS.
I have no service yet. I keep looking. I still haven't had my service restored.
AT&T says 75% of its network is restored. What I want to know is that just words? Because is it 75% of the outage has been repaired, or that 75% of their customers are unaffected?
No,
that's because that to me reads a little bit weird.
There's nothing wrong with the network. There's nothing wrong with it. The reason that the people aren't able to connect is because it's been infiltrated. They have a little piece of code or a script that's running, malware, whatever you want to call it, and they're trying to get it fixed. So nothing's damaged. It's all has to do with whatever's lying in the servers and whatnot, communications. I'm telling you, man, AT&T is paying the hackers. Everything's going to start booting back up, but it's going to come up very slow. Why? That's what happens when you have a ransomware attack.
It's like Ocean's 11. Oh, you know what? My phone just came on because my text messages just appeared.
Jesus. Mine's still down. I'm going to have to call the wife. Did you pay the bill? What you do with that money I sent you?
Someone texted me at 11 o'clock saying business call me. All right.
Well, nice. Now you're in business. I guess you go to work now.
Damn it. I was going to watch more Netflix.
Oh, I thought you were going to watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days again.
Dude, I stand by that movie.
Jesus, right.
It's a great movie. It has Latrell Sprewell in it, dude.
Oh, man. Well, I was talking with Jefe yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was working out when I called him, you know. He's working out at his boot camp or what have you.
Yeah.
And we're talking about renting a theater so we can go and watch Transformers the animated movie with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start looking into that.
I know people like Jeff and John Dyer, Spurs and Salsa, have been all upset about it. They've been like,
we're probably gonna take a box of tomatoes in case you say something dumb.
Drew Show, great question. So, Mr. Jimenez, let's cut to the chase. When are you going to run for Bexar County Commissioner? If not you, if not when? Tall tale time.
Oh, no.
Tall tale time.
Hey, by the way, thanks for the tip, Drew. We appreciate
it, man. Appreciate the $5 tip. Is this true or not? Because whenever I say tall tale time, I'm being honest. I got a phone call, and actually, let me backtrack there. So I'm already off to a bad start.
Okay.
I got instant messages from a former mayor of San Antonio asking me to run for office.
Oh, I came back on.
Former mayor of San Antonio, who served multiple terms, reached out to me and has done it multiple times, asking me to run for office in Bexar County or San Antonio. It has happened. And he reached out to me and said, "You're very vocal. You're from here. You have a platform. You should run for office." And I asked him which office that I should run for. And he said that he thought of two different offices. One is a statewide office and one was a local office. The local office was he wanted me to run for Northside ISD trustees. And I told him, well, based on where I'm at, the guy that runs NISD, like the trustees over there, he's going to be termed out this next time, and maybe I would consider it. I've always thought about running for office because I honestly believe that the far right's dumb and the far left is dumb, but there's always an answer down the middle.
Yeah,
there really always is.
Well, Mayor Ron Nierenberg, I've met him several times,
and it wasn't Mayor Ron that asked me.
I'm saying Mayor Ron Nierenberg. I've met him several times, been in the office with him talking sports and whatnot with our good friend Taro Katani.
Yeah.
The #1 Spurs fan from Japan. He's a great guy, man. His term is going to be coming up. I don't think he can re-up again. So there's going to be a vacancy.
Give me 1 second here.
What did it say? Mr. Jimenez needs to run to become El Rey Feo.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Come over here.
Oh, God.
I'm showing you the instant messages I got from this person. You recognize that name? Don't say the name. This is all, should you run for office? Okay. So now that I have proof, and I showed you on my cell phone, did a former San Antonio mayor reach out to me to talk to me about running for office?
Yep, they sure did.
And was it one post? Was it one thing?
No.
It was long conversations about what you should run for, all that stuff. It happened. Thank you for bringing that up. Drew Show says the week after September 11th, same week, I shared a plane ride with Henry Cisneros from San Antonio to Georgia. Talked to him for about an hour. He indulged me because I was on my way to basic training at Fort Benning. That's awesome. Thank you for your service. Who reached out saying that I should run for El Rey Feo?
Mario Cavazos. He should run for El Rey Feo.
Chris Gonzalez says, tall tale.
No mames.
Very funny. He probably texted Jacob. He probably texted the wrong Mike Jimenez. He was looking for the reporter from Kids 5. Jeez. He got me confused. But do you see this? If I had told you without showing you evidence, would you have believed me?
No, not a chance in hell.
But then when I showed you the evidence,
no.
It was either Commissioner's Court, NISD trustee, or Texas House or U.S. House 23.
Yeah, I saw.
Is what he was.
Hey, man.
And Cavazos reaches out. We'll end the show with this. It was Mike Taylor, the mayor of Sports.
Oh, God, wrong Mike. They meant to go ahead and text Taylor instead.
Very, very cool, man.
Hey, but we need to go ahead and get some guests in for next week, man. Maybe we could get Pitt.
Yeah, get Pitt. I joked that I want Mike Jimenez from Ken's 5 to do a spot with us. Who's the real Mike Jimenez around here?
You could see if he's available, man. I mean, I know we do the show early.
Yeah.
So you can ask.
I got a jet, man. I have a money bags moment.
Oh, yeah?
I got to let in my housekeeper at 12 o'clock.
Oh, God. All right. We got to bring the show to a close. So
I'm Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Alamo City Sportscast. Share, like, hit the like button on the way out. Send us a tip. It goes to Joe.
Yeah. Oh, and make sure you watch Rudy tomorrow on Friday. No show today, but tomorrow he'll be out 2 o'clock from 2 to 3:30.
And go Spurs, go beat the Kings.